Welcome back to the podcast where we ask the question, what makes you happy? My name is Jake Pearson, and our guest today is an author and teacher who is a dealer of hope, sharing positive disruption around the globe. Tony Rubleski from Grand Haven, Michigan, United States. It's a pleasure to have you. How are you?
Good. How you doing down under, Jake? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Doing really well, thank you. And I'm excited to have you here. And I love your shirt, Hope Dealer. What does that mean?
Well, it's a title that one of my friends said, "No, you're a hope dealer." And I look at it as a fun way to say, you know what? I like to share with people to don't give up. Yeah. And to look at each day with the old proverbial faith, love, and hope. And if we lose hope, especially us as global citizens, the game is over. So I don't want to be negative to start, but every day to me is a fresh approach of living. And I'm very hopeful that the human race will continue to make progress no matter what conflicts are going on.
Wonderful. So this is all about what makes you happy. And I have a feeling it's going to tie into something that you've just mentioned there, but let's go with it anyway. Tell me, what does make you happy, Tony?
There's several things that come to mind. An ideal day of happiness would be taking a walk along the boardwalk. I live near Lake Michigan. It's a huge freshwater lake. It looks like the ocean. I walk that pier almost every day when I'm not traveling in the summer and the fall. It's stunning. So I love to see the sunset, water, to hear nature, to see the seagulls, even if they're kind of flying by and trying to get you. It's beautiful to wake up and have fresh air and be out in nature and in a beautiful space. I also love music. Music to me is the soundtrack of life, and some music will bring you down. I look at it as a great way when I go work out or I'm hiking or outside nature walking to keep my spirits up. So I love the backdrop and how you can create what you want to flow many times with the power of music. A couple other quick things here. I love to be outside and just contemplate things. It's always interesting when you're walking that some of the downloads you have. Instead of worrying, I'll go take a walk. It's much more productive than me sitting at my desk or trying to overthink things. I'm like, you know what? Get up out of your chair, physically move, get into action, get positive energy going and oxygen. And many times the best ideas come from being out in nature. So that meditation, that movement to me is critical. Other things that turn me on, I'm kind of geeky, is I love knowledge. I'm constantly learning, watching podcasts, TEDx videos. That keeps me happy because I can't get bored. I want to throw this out for your global audience is if you're ever bored, go over to YouTube and pull up comedy. Pull up a TEDx talk to get you thinking differently, to interrupt if you're having a bad day. People always think as a writer and a speaker all over the world that I'm always happy. I have bad days too, Jake. What I have learned, though, is how to deliberately override myself getting into negative thinking for too long. If it continues for hours, it takes hours to get out of it sometimes. If it's a few days, everyone in my circle, my team knows it, my clients can send something like, you're not as happy as you normally are. And I think it's human. I'm 50 years old this year, and I have some mileage on the road of life, and I go, wow, I'm grateful that I made it this far, and what does the future hold? So there's more pragmatism in me the last 5 or 6 years to see that life can throw some real tough things at you. I'm a former compulsive gambler. I've had a divorce. I have older children that I love that, there's been challenges raising them through a divorce and then getting through their teen years. But I just am very optimistic that you're always learning, even from temporary setbacks. So I know that's a lot to process, but to me, every day is a gift. I don't look at life in black and white. To me, it's Technicolor. What can we go out and explore? What can we create? What good conversations? What good concerts can we go to? How do we live life in full Technicolor?
You've given so much food for thought, but if you're a listener, it doesn't matter that you probably didn't hear all of it. Just take the one thing that you think resonates with you and go and explore that concept, because there are a few things there that you touched on. And there was one thing that I really liked that probably ties into the advice that you would give to our listeners if one of them came up to you and said that they were struggling with happiness or that they were having a bad day. Did you really want to retouch back on that? Going to YouTube and watching a video or something like that, wasn't it?
So to watch the evolution of online and internet bringing the world together, I look at it, man, you can access all this great content that at any point in human history, you could never find it. So I don't know how people get bored. So if you're having a bad day, so you know what? I'm struggling with depression. I'm having tough thoughts. I'm having anxiety. You might find a TEDx talk that you go, I needed that right then and there. Use the power of Google. Use the power of search to get yourself out of a tough spot.
I could not resonate with that more because I've listened to podcasts when I'm having a bad day, and it's probably like most of the time when I'm driving, and I'll just hear one thing and I've just got to pause that because that thought is shifting something in my brain right there and then. And I love that. Go and watch a video, go search up a piece of content, and you never know what is going to be said that you're going to resonate with, and it might just help you take that next step forward to your day. Hey, Tony, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk about all things that make you happy. We really appreciate your time today. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We hope it gives you something to think about on your quest to discover what makes you happy. Make sure to check out whatmakesyouhappypodcast.com to connect with today's guest and follow us on all our social media platforms, and to stay up to date at what's happening next at What Makes You Happy. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend, and we'll see you next time.